Okay, I'll continue from here. The last topic that I discussed today was resistance switching. You already have heard that resistance switching. Uh, you should use the resistance switching where you will observe that the chance of rising the frequency of the TRV is very high. Okay, because the high frequency TRV will always create some problem for you. Always remember that. Okay, so in order to provide a precautions to the circuit breaker, the resistance switching is actually provided. Nothing but just to suppress the high frequency component from the TRV, okay, and resulting decrease in the rate of rise of the TRV as well as increase in the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker. More or less, the circuit breaker safety can be provided by this resistance switching in some special cases. Okay, so we already had learned that topics. Let's move on to auto recloser. Auto recloser is a special type of circuit breaker, or simply say that a special type of mechanism is added in the circuit breaker, which is actually named as auto recloser. Okay, so generally you have some there are some statistics that is given to you about some classifications of the fault. The faults are classified normally transient faults. It is actually due to insulation flashover, which is cleared immediately after tripping of the circuit breaker and does not require circuit breaker close. Okay, then semi-permanent fault and permanent fault. Permanent faults are often, you know, these things as uh, you know the symmetrical and unsymmetrical fault are normally in this classified. Okay, permanent fault. Though the transient fault or the insulation flashover may also lead to you a permanent fault, but mainly the permanent fault has two types of classification. One is symmetrical fault and another is unsymmetrical fault, and you already have studied those things in your power system analysis. What do you mean by semi-permanent fault? Okay, now semi-permanent fault, these are actually occurs when a transmission line or distribution line actually moves through some big forest or through the side of some big tree. Like, for example, this is a transmission line. Okay, a tree is situated here. The tree has branches. Okay, now whenever some high speed air flows, uh, the branch of the tree may bend and touch the transmission line or distribution line. Okay, now eventually this is a fault now, but the difference is that you can classify it as it's as a line to ground fault. Okay, as the tree is directly involved to the ground. Okay, you can classify it as a line to ground fault, but the difference between that impedance is connected through the line to ground fault, which is actually the impedance of the tree. And another big difference is that whenever the air stops to flow, the branch of the circuit breaker, I'm sorry, the branch of the tree may go back to its original position again, and retaining, if it goes back to again, then eventually you can simply understand that the fault is cleared. So semi-permanent fault is something in between permanent fault and automatic clearance of the fault. Okay, and it is generally occurred in case of when the transmission or distribution lines move through or near through some big trees or some forest area. Okay, so in that cases, instead of using a circuit breaker, we will use auto recloser. Why it is that? Why auto recloser is so special? If you can recall from your basic understanding that whenever a fault occurs, uh, the first step is to not to clear the fault. The first step is to make this area isolated. Okay, how we achieve that? We simply achieve that by tripping the contact of the circuit breaker. All right, so you know the steps that is followed from the fault occurrence to relay sensing, triple energization, and finally arc interactions, and thus the circuit breaker contacts remain permanently open. Okay, now in case of semi-permanent fault, if you use the circuit breaker instead of auto recloser, the service continuity will be a little bit poorer than it is achieved in case of auto recloser. How it is that? For example, a semi-permanent fault has been occurred here. The circuit breaker contact is open permanently. So you send some maintenance people over there to check that whether fault is cleared or not. Okay, the maintenance people has gone there, and he or she checked that the fault is clear, there is no fault. So she or he will inform the control sections that okay, now you can close this circuit breaker because there is no fault. Okay, so from the control sections, you are actually closing the contact space of the circuit breaker by some manual instruction. Okay, now the circuit breaker is closed and the maintenance people is returning to its original position again or office again. Meanwhile, again a semi-permanent fault occurs, and which will lead to the disconnections of the circuit breaker again. All right, so this may happen frequent time. Okay, now you see there are two main problems that is being achieving here. The first one is that the maintenance people is getting hampered. He or she has to go near to the fault locations again and again in order to clear the fault. This is one part, and another part is that whenever this circuit breaker is tripping permanently, this particular area is being isolated from the power supply. You are not getting any power here. So in terms of service continuity is a term which is generally used in the power system, which actually tells that how much or how more continue you can deliver or you can achieve power in a particular area, particular region. So in terms of that particular service, that particular term, the service continuity, it is becoming poor. Okay, so if you now let us discuss first about auto recloser. What is auto recloser? Auto recloser is simply a special type of circuit breaker.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Do you have any question here?
Yes, sir. Importance of making current, sir. You say last class.
I will come to
Remind
it.
me when I have auto recloser class.
I will come. Wait. So normally you see, if you compare the circuit breaker with auto recloser, the circuit breaker and the auto recloser both has a tripping mechanism of automatically. That means during any abnormal situations, both the circuit breaker and auto recloser will trip automatically. This is the first line of defense that you have to provide your protective devices, especially the switching devices, or I can say this is circuit breaker or auto recloser. But there is a distinction between auto recloser and circuit breaker is that whenever the circuit breaker is open, it cannot close automatically. Okay, in case of normal circuit breaker, like I'm talking about SCB or VCB or OCB, if there is not any auto recloser feature is being given there, the circuit breaker will close only if you provide any manual instructions over there to close. That means it will open automatically during an abnormal situations, and after the fault clearance, you have to close the contact space of the circuit breaker manually and to continue the power flow. As simple as it is. But a special feature is added into the auto recloser, which is that the auto recloser can open the contact automatically as well as it can close the contact automatically for some times or for some sort of time after some delay. Okay, so this is the big difference between auto recloser and circuit breaker. Circuit breaker cannot close automatically, whereas the auto recloser can close automatically for some conditions or with some conditions, I must say. Okay, so now take a closer look at this situation. Instead of normal circuit breaker, if I would place a auto recloser over here, what benefit we would get? First of all, due to this semi-permanent fault, this auto recloser is open again. Then after some time, it will try to close it automatically. Now, in this trying or within this delay, if the semi-permanent fault is cleared, that means this contact space will be closed. So which will reflect in reduction of the hamperness of the maintenance people to go again and again to the fault location for clearance of the fault. This is one part. And second and most importantly, the service continuity is far more better here instead of circuit breaker, because until you close the circuit breaker, there is no power. But now the auto recloser, as it can close automatically if there is no fault, that means it can provide the power to the particular location or that isolated location more quickly than the circuit breaker. All right, are you getting my point? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Guys, do you have any questions? Do you have any question up to this?
No, sir.
So this is the evident advantage that I was talking about auto recloser. Okay, so now there are actually how much time it will delay. It actually depends on the two persons. One is the manufacturer one and as the user one. In some cases, manufacturer fix this delay time. In some cases, manufacturer provides the user to be more flexible to choose that how much delay that the user wants for his particular auto recloser. Okay. So there are two types of auto recloser. One is called single shot auto recloser. Single shot auto recloser means it will try only one time to close the contact of the circuit breaker, and another one is the tri-shot auto recloser. Tri-shot auto recloser means this auto recloser will try at least 3 times. First of like this, that if same permanent fault occurs, the contact of this auto recloser is open, then after some delay it will try to close again. Meanwhile, if the fault is still there, it will open again after some delay it will try. If there is fault again, then it will close, open again, and it will try for the last time or third time. Now in this third tries, if the fault is removed from the system, or if the semi-permanent fault is resolved from the system, then the auto recloser will be able to close. Otherwise it will be open permanently, just like circuit breaker. That means after that you cannot, or your auto recloser cannot close the contact automatically. You have to do it by manually, as just you do it for the circuit breaker cases. Understood? And single shot auto recloser has only one provision to close the contact of the circuit breaker. If within this one trying, if fault is removed from the system, if the fault is removed from the system, then the auto recloser will close. If not, then auto recloser will make the system open. Okay, understood? Guys, have you got the point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any
Yes,
question?
sir.
Do you have any question up to this?
No, sir.
This is a picture of auto recloser. You can see pictorial image is given there. Then another issue is that normally the auto reclosers are installed on the high voltage system. Okay. Yes, you can also install the auto recloser in the low voltage distribution system also, but it's generally preferred in case of large transmission lines where the provision for power of the circuit is very small. In some cases, you will see if your voltage level is up to transmission one, like 230 kV or 400 kV, the loss of supply is less than 30 seconds. Okay, that means if any disturbance occurs there, and if the circuit breaker trips off, you have to make sure that your particular line or particular bus is online with maximum amount of power within 30 seconds. So in that cases, actually auto recloser are very good options to provide reliable power supply to a particular region or particular area. Okay, but yes, you can install it in the distribution level also, but eventually it will you are also getting the picture that this is a more featurely added circuit breaker, so it will cost more to your system. Okay, so if you install it in the distribution or root level, eventually the cost of the protection schemes will be higher. So that's why, to make it a little bit economically efficient, we generally avoid of using auto recloser in the distribution level. We try to use it in the transmission level. All right.
Yes, sir.
Have you got it? Now, in case of circuit breaker, as the circuit breaker opens when the breaking current actually falls. So in case of circuit breaker, the capacity of the circuit breaker is actually related to the breaking capacity. Okay. Breaking capacity, as it doesn't open or doesn't close under the making current. But whenever you are, if you think about auto recloser, due to a fault, it is open, and with the presence of the fault, it will try to close again. Now, whenever it will try to close, now the heat that will produce across this contact space of the circuit breaker is not equivalent to the breaking current. In fact, it is equivalent to the making current, the peak current. Okay. So that's why the capacity of the auto recloser is actually determined in terms of making capacity rather than breaking capacity, as it has to deal with the making current during interruption of the fault. Okay. Unlike of circuit breaker, it is almost 95 to 96% cases. The circuit breaker deals with breaking current. So breaking capacity or a little bit reduced capacity than the making capacity will eventually make the circuit breaker less economical rather than auto recloser. But as the auto recloser has to handle the making current, so that allowances, that capacity must be allowed in the auto recloser, so that during automatically closing operations, the contact of the auto recloser remains safe. Okay. Now, if you put the braking capacity over here instead of making capacity, it may happen that whenever this contact tries to close during a faulty situation, the contact of the circuit breaker may wasted, may get damaged. Okay. So that's why just remember thing, if you somehow do some experience in manufacturer relevant job, in terms of manufacturer point of view, you should provide the capacity of the rotary cruiser which is able to handle the current of making current rather than the breaking current which is in design in case of circuit breaker. Okay, that was the thing that I wanted to discuss when I started to show you about making current and breaking current. All right, have you got it, guys? Do you have any question up to this? Do you have any question up to this?
No question.
You sure about that, right? Anybody, do you have any
Absolutely,
question
sir.
up to this? Anyone? Do you have any question up to this?
No, sir.
All right, so I'm going to start the next. Okay, so we'll start most probably the last topics, which is actually miniature circuit breaker MCB or molded case circuit breaker MCCB. We will learn about the basic operations, the basic constructions of the MCB or MCCB under this topic. Then we will also learn about how a rating of MCB and MCCB is selected for a particular appliances or particular buildings or any kind of installations, electrical installations, how we are going to select the proper rating of miniature circuit breaker or in case of molded circuit breaker. Okay. Now, first of all, these are extensively used popular protective devices that we use nowadays in case of domestic voltage level. Domestic voltage level means generally it is up to 11 kV. Okay, that is called as domestic voltage level. In some cases, 33 kV can be used, but generally, in most cases, found that the application of MCB and MCCB lies in the domestic voltage level, so low voltage systems. Okay. So these protective devices are very popular. It almost replaces the majority of the fuses because whatever the fuse does, the MCB and MCCB does the same thing, protecting the low voltage system, but in more efficient way or more cost effective way. So I think you already know about fuse things. Fuse is nothing but it's a wire that is mounted between two ceramic plates. One side of the power line is connected here and another side is, let's for example, load. Okay, so fuse is placed in between power line or power supply and the load. Okay, it provides a series connection. Okay, now during normal situation, the fusing element can carry the normal power, obviously. Now whenever overrated current flows above the nominal current, you know that there will be I square R heat loss that will produce across this fusing element. This fusing element has a melting point. Whenever this heat reach its melting point, eventually it melts. Okay, melts and making an open circuit to prevent the overrated current flowing through the load, making the load safe. This is how it works. For example, if you had a fault over here, and due to this fault, whenever the excessive current flows through this fusing element, the heat loss or the heat that is produced I square R is excess than the pre-selected value or the melting point of this fusing element. So eventually it will be blown out. Okay, whenever it blows out, it will create an open circuit path, thus restricting the fault current to flow from this side to load side, making the load safe. Then as usual, the process, what you need to do, you have to find out the particular location of the fault. Then you have to clear the fault. Whenever the fault is clear, then your system is back to normal again. Then you have to connect the fusing element again. So this is the main harass things that appears in the fuse. Each and every operations, the connector element has to be replaced. And there comes the probability of selecting the inaccurate or wrongly sized fusing element over here. Okay, because what should be the dimension, what should be the diameter, what should be the length, it is all associated with the calculations. And if we do so without that calculation, it may happen that with any kind of uncertainty, the load is damaged completely, but still the fusing element is not melted. Okay, it may happen. All right, so to avoid these problems, to avoid this harassment, the MCB and MCCB comes to the actions. The MCCB and MCCB does the same thing what a fuse does. During any kind of fault, the contact is open. All right, the contact is open. Then whenever the fault is clear, you just close the contact and the normal operation starts again. Now what is the specialty of this miniature circuit breaker? As we are saying, lots of times circuit breaker, lots of times circuit breaker. What are the main differences between this miniature or molded case MCCB with traditional circuit breaker? Traditional circuit breaker will indicate it starts from ACB, OCB, ABCB like this. Okay, the only big difference is that this traditional circuit breaker ACB, VCB, OCB needs a relay, needs a sensing device, Okay, understood or not? They need a sensor and they need a sensing device to at least detect that whether the system is in normal condition or abnormal condition. But MCB doesn't have any provision of external relay. The construction of the, or I can say the internal construction of the MCB and MCCB are such that it can detect the abnormality of the power system as well as can cut it off and protect the power system. It means both the relay and the circuit breaker functions is being integrated in the structure of the MCB and MCCB. Okay, the internal structure is such that it can work as a sensor, it can work as a relay, as well as it can cut it off the power system to stop the flow of abnormal currents. Okay, understood or not? The tripping mechanism is actuated by thermal sensing.
Understood, sir.
We will discuss those things later on. Let's move on. So what is the difference between MCB and MCCB? One thing is common, that is the how they operate. The operating principle is same. There are some basic differences there. One thing is the rating value. Maybe MCB is up to 100 ampere. MCCB is up to 15,000 ampere. So whenever the current rating value from your calculation of a particular appliances or particular bindings, it reaches over 100 ampere, then you need to understand that you cannot select MCB, so you have to go for MCCB. Those are the same operating principle based devices. The one difference is that they are reading. Another is that normally the constructions of the MCB is placed open, while the constructions of the internal construction of the MCB is placed under a molded case. That's why it names as molded case circuit breaker. Okay, understood?
Yes, understood, sir.
Do you have any question? You can read it by yourself at your home. I already have discussed about two main differences with you. All right. So you can go home, you can read this at home to enrich your knowledge so that you know more things about the basic difference between MCB and MCCB. All right. Okay or not? Can you do it? Can you just go through these differences between MCB and MCCB?
Yes, sir. We can do, sir.
So you read it at your home. From the next class, I think I will discuss about the operation and how to select the rating of the MCB. Today I will end here. Okay, so long day. All right. So if you have any question up to this, you can ask me a question so that I can answer. If not, then I will end today. Your preference. Do you have any question? Guys, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, then see you in the next class, inshallah. Okay.